As a child, I used to have these extreme moments of euphoria, of elation, of absolute satisfaction and completeness and connectedness with the world. Didn't matter what the moment was. These moments of amazing bliss and happiness just would flow through me for no reason. It seemed to happen when I was more engaged in what was there with me in the present moment. It seemed to happen in those moments when I wasn't thinking about the past or the future, when I wasn't analyzing anything. I didn't have to know the name of anything. I didn't have to know the value of anything. I didn't have to know anything. In fact, I have to let all of that go in order to be present to have those feelings again. And so for maybe 20 years, I didn't have those amazing moments of absolute bliss. Without those, I started having depression. I had anxiety. Anxiety, to me, is the worst pain that I've ever had. I've had broken legs. I've had physical ailments. I don't remember the pain being that bad. Anxiety. Oh, anxiety is the worst thing that I've ever felt. And so it's something to be paid attention to, just as we pay attention to a broken leg. When someone breaks their leg, oh, all these people are there to help. But if someone's having anxiety, many times these people get pushed away from society. People don't want to be around an anxious person, especially when their anxiety manifests in anger. So imagine if someone had a broken leg, but we didn't want to help them because their response to pain was anger. So emotional pain is real physical pain. And, sometimes I wonder if my depression and my anxiety was because of contrast, because I had those amazing moments as a child for no reason. Like I could have been staring at like a little rock and looking at all the amazing colors in the rock and just be completely complete, completely content. The more I learned, the more I tried to be what I thought was a good person, what I thought was a successful person, the more I tried to be something other than what I was, the more this bliss was further and further away from me. So this bliss is not found for me through accomplishment. I'll feel a little bit of peace after I accomplish something, but it doesn't last very long. It's an insatiable way to get peace. You have to do an accomplishment that's larger than that in order to get the peace again. In order to give yourself permission to allow the endorphins to flow that allow us to fall into peace easier. We've got these list of criteria that we have to follow before we allow ourselves to love ourselves, before we allow ourselves to feel complete. So when I stumbled onto meditation, it was just like, oh my gosh, okay, this is how I get back to that euphoria. This is how I get back to that absolute peace. Now they say that children learn faster and they say that children heal faster. And here's why I believe. Because I've reverted back to a childlike sponge mind. And I've reverted back to a child's body that heals so quickly because of that peace. In those moments of peace and absolute joy and absolute happiness, absolute completeness, the body heals at its fastest. And the body is most receptive because you're taking in everything that is there in the present. You're saying, you know what? The answers to all my problems are here in the present. Everything I need is right here. Am I willing to take a chance on actually looking at what is here? Not get caught up in some sort of philosophy of what I'm going to do in the future, or a plan, or any it's almost impossible to separate ourselves from this constant thinking that has gone on. We can maybe think back to when we were children and sort of try to remember how that felt, the absolute peace, or the absolute joy that we could have over nothing, like our toes. I love this analogy, our toes touching the grass. Oh! I can remember as a child it was absolutely invigorating. It completely consumed my consciousness with reality, with the sensations that were going through my body because of the actual grass under me. As I got older, I started getting distracted by the thoughts and by plans and storylines and trying to understand things. Really, I was just trying to understand why I wasn't feeling so great. I was really just trying to understand why I didn't have this wonderful, blissful sensation in my body that I used to have when I was a child. That's why I was really asking questions. The moment that peace rises up in my body again, I don't have a single question. Because that was really what I was asking, is how can I feel okay again? How can I feel good enough? How can I love myself for exactly as I am? As children, we do it on accident. We come into this world with our base ability is just love. Our base sensation is just love and peace. That changes the older we get. But it's our base sensation. It is our truest self that is always there. Our truest self has to be what we are now. Otherwise, it wouldn't be our truest self now, would it? It has to be what we are now. It is in there. It is covered over. We are not going to become what we want to become. We're only going to uncover it again. And it is marvelous every time we uncover it. All right, you guys, I hope that gave you a little key into the simplicity of this peace that is always waiting for you. It's your base level experience. Once you remove the taint of the mind, the way the mind sort of twists reality. Someone thinks something is bad, it's bad in their reality. Someone thinks something's good, it's good in their reality. Every single person has a different opinion. Every single person has a different reality that they're experiencing. But every single one thinks that they're right. Except me. And maybe you guys. I don't trust my emotions when I'm having a bad day, when I think the earth is just hell. I don't trust that. No. Why would I? That's just going to change. And later, when those thoughts pass, then I have a more direct experience with reality and I feel the peace once again. The peace does not have to be learned. Once the war in the mind stops, the peace is the natural state of the entire universe. Most of the universe is peace. Most of the chaos that we believe the universe is in our minds. Most of the universe is empty space where there's absolutely nothing going on. 99.999999999% of the universe, I don't know if that's exactly the number, but it's something like that. The vast majority of the universe is empty space. If you rounded that, it would round to zero. There's nothing in space. That's how little the physical matter makes up in space. If you walk out into the woods and you sit there, maybe a bird will fly by, maybe a cloud will move. Then an hour later, maybe you'll see like an ant. So when we move away from society and we go out into the woods, we realize, wait, there's not really much happening. There's not much going on. The chaos is in our mind, and we have a collective mind. So when we're in the society, we take on all the frustrations, worries, all the criticalness of all the people around us. And this is the sensation of frustration that we inherit from them. This is the sensation of self-loathing that we learned. So we don't have to learn how to love ourselves. We just forget how to self-loathe. And loving ourselves is the natural state waiting underneath to arise and to fill your body with absolute blissful sensations. You know, do you like alcohol? Do you like any drugs? Are there any hobbies that give you a great sense of peace? That's the sensation I'm talking about. And so even though drugs have a hangover, right, there's all this negative side to it. That moment when you've taken that drug, when you feel that absolute peace, the reason why you're doing the drug, the reason why you're willing to put up with the hangover, that peace is the same peace that I'm talking about. That peace does not need to be achieved through a drug. That peace is your natural state underneath. That drug simply quieted your mind. Just as a hobby can quiet your mind, just as an amazing movie can quiet your mind. In the moment when you're listening to your favorite song, you are not questioning why you are here. It is so clear. The amazingness of experiencing something like a song or anything in reality, when you're fully present with it and not distracted, that's where the peaceful sensation, the peaceful experience happens. Right here, right now, that experience is waiting for us at any moment. The second we try not to get away from here. We can try to get away from here by thinking of something else other than the sensations that are going on right now. The sensation of my breath, if I can focus on that more and let go of all the other things I'm thinking of, every breath feels absolutely wonderful. When we start to be this present with our body and we're not distracted, this is when the body begins to heal. This is when the body's diagnostics start to switch on and it starts to clean out all these deposits of frustration and anxiety that we've clinched into different areas of our body. And so many times when we have this moment of suddenly becoming present, pains can disappear. Some people have even found that their vision comes back through this moment of peace. And so it feels like a miracle. When we have anxiety and frustration, we clench all sorts of muscles in our body. And there's some areas in our body, like for example in our eye, where if we clench the wrong muscle for too long, or if we have too much pressure, even the slightest bit of pressure in the wrong place will make us go blind, will make us not be able to see very well. Whereas you could get hit by a dodgeball and that would do nothing to you. So the outside of the body can take amazing amounts of impact, but the inside of the body, like for example our nervous system, the slightest shift, almost impossibly small to even notice, this slightest shift will create an incredible amount of pain. But the cool thing is that the frustration that's causing this extra pressure on the nerve that's causing you a lot of pain, when that anxiety drops off, so does the pressure of the pain. And so this is where you can have miracles every day, just by learning about letting your body relax more and scanning through your body and feeling every aspect of it to feel where the tightness is. And to be willing to be with that tightness day after day after day, looking at it and learning. We don't have the practice of being present with our body, so we're going to have to learn a lot about this to get ourselves back to our most functional, productive, healthiest state. All right, you guys, let me try to cut this short, master shortcut style. But you can call me TT. Oh, I feel so much love for you guys. I feel love for you and I don't even know you. I feel love for you because I know that you are truly love on the inside. I don't care what you think you've done that makes you not lovable. That doesn't matter to me. I know what you are on the inside because I loathed, it's hard to say, I hated myself for a while. And the second that thought went away, I felt my natural sensation, which was love for myself. All right, you guys, I love you. Have an absolutely wonderful day.